Hey, how's your balls? Excuse me. I've been sneezing for like 2 minutes straight. I smelled the foot of this while driving over here, and just literally the pungentness of this filler tobacco. It's Colombian and Dominican tobacco, Indonesian binder. It's got Dominican Piloto Cubano in the filler. General core line. They have some of the best Dominican Piloto Cubano. Use the Macanudos, Partagas, and Cohiba especially. And also Indonesian, they use in the red dot. But we have Colombian in the filler as well, which is interesting and how that's going to play. And then we have a Brazilian Arapaca. It's like when you're trying to start a chainsaw and you the choker's on. Hey, what kind of rapper is that? Brazilian. When you're on the rum block in Chicago. Excuse me, is it? Switches are legal down here? Oh, shit. Look, I'll be honest. Every time I turn the camera, I'm like, yo, I'm just going to review this cigar and like keep it to like a 5-minute video. Like, oh, it's not going to happen. Bro, my allergies are going nuts. I can't smell this foot again. If I smell this foot again, I'm going to shit my pants. This had one of the most pungently smelling, good pungent, but also a really funky smelling foot. I've never smoked the green in 6x60. And come to think about it, I haven't really done, I don't think any of the Inspirados in 6x60. And this was around $8 in 2024 pricing. And I've always recommended the Inspirados. There's ones I like more or less, but none of them were bad. And it comes to make me think of Macanudo as a brand. They really didn't make a bad cigar. There was ones I like more or less, and there was sometimes ones they went on the high end side where they will do some small batch stuff. And those I generally like the list, meaning because when you get to like $15-20 for Macanudo, even if it's a good cigar, I feel like sometimes you're like, but it's a low value. Because I'm totally content with their Crew Royale, whatever the hell, it's fucking phenomenal. Their other classic Maduro, like the silver one, the vintage 2011 or whatever I don't know, whatever the fuck. There was a bunch of vintage models. I really enjoyed those. All the Inspirados, the classic line. Look, the classic line is like the kindergarten cigar for new people, like just like Romeo 1875. Well, on the flip side, you got Macanudo, the classic the classic, Gold Cafe, those cigars. There's nothing wrong with those cigars. They're great. It's a great Connecticut shade cigar, Mexican San Andreas binder, I believe. It's that kind of stuff is really good for newbies. As far as the quality of the cigars, those are good cigars if you like Connecticut shade. The problem is, as guys get into cigars, they want stronger stuff, and they assume the weaker stuff as lower quality, whereas it's not what you're into anymore. There's nothing wrong with Connecticut shade tobacco, but I can't stress it enough. Like, it changes the whole direction. You could say, well, it's just a wrapper. How could just one leaf? One leaf? Bro, I just can't stress it enough. You change the outer leaf. It surrounds. It's the perimeter. It's the perception. It's everything. The feel, the touch. But also, as that smoke goes through there, all that... Remember, and picture how that filler's in there all crumpled up. But this is wrapped around it. All that filler has got a border of this. I can't stress it enough. I just can't stress it enough. Right? I just can't stress it enough. I just can't stress it enough. The wrapper is the blend. It's the direction of the blend. And everything else in there affects it, but it pushes that wrapper and how it wants to affect it. I just can't stress. If the wrapper wasn't the blend, well then you take any brand. I don't give a shit. Take a Padron 26 Natural, which is just more of a sun-grown and more of a lighter sun-grown, and then Maduro. Same blends, but one's just a different wrapper. Allegedly same wrapper, but Maduro is still processed though. And I tell you what, it changes the way it tastes. I can't stress it enough, even with the same blend. So the wrapper is the most important part of the blend as far as direction. I just can't stress it enough. You could have different actors. You could have music. You know, you can have action in the movie, but the director, he decides where the camera's going to go. He decides the angle, how close to the actors, how far. Is he zooming in, zooming out? What style of the movie? The rapper is the director in the movie. Oh, but it's only one part. What are you gonna do? Have fucking all the fillers in charge of the movie? The fucking, you know what I'm saying? No, it's a 4-country filler. You're gonna have 4 fucking directors. Spielberg's like, get the fuck out of here, motherfucker. I can't stress it enough. The rapper's in fucking charge. The WRAPPER. The rapper's in charge of the blend. I just can't stress it enough. I don't know how else to stress it enough. I just can't stress it enough. I just can't stress it enough. All right, we're gonna light this up. Every time I say I'm just, fuck. I'm also giving myself time. Man, that was funky. That foot smell was funky. We're gonna get some soft, gentle heat. What a giant foot. Wowza. So we're gonna see if this Gordo, and the thinking on this too is like, let's see how it opened it up. Because I'm not crazy about Brazilian tobacco. It's one of my least favorites, but if it's done right, it could be a good, odd, kinky experience. Really. Like when I want a cigar that makes me feel, oof. Even if I enjoy it, it's still an odd type of experience. That's what Brazilian tobacco does for me. It doesn't have a definition. It doesn't have a definitive vibe like we're Connecticut Shade or Brazilian or a Connecticut Broadleaf Maduro or Mexican San Andreas, and that has some variables, but generally speaking, you know what you're getting with those. Brazilian, it's so the way it makes me feel is fucking bizarre. It's weird, some weird shit. It's weird. Brazilian tobacco's fucking strange. And I'll go to my grave saying that, man. It's fucking strange. I'm not against it. I'm against it though. Like, I'm kind of against it. I'm kind of against it as far as like, it really should be one part of the cigar. There should be a lot of the tobacco going on there. Medium plus off the bat. Kind of stronger than I thought it was going to be. What a big fucking cigar to light. These matches suck. These matches suck. Well, punch it. Fuck me. Fucking shit. That's punch it. What, I get 3 seconds with this match? I feel like, God forgive me, it's like that place I went to that was right behind the fucking the garbage truck. It used to be a garbage truck yard. I think it was in Babylon, more western Suffolk County. I thought it was in Babylon. Anyways, they had a place that was near the garbage truck yard, and you went in there, and then they had a place. You went in, and you had to go up the steps and around, and then somebody buzzed you in. It is one of those fucking bullshit places where you put the dollar in the fucking in the thing, and the metal wall opens up, you know, and there's a glass there. It's fucking retarded, you know, and there's a girl there. Hi! It closes, and you're like, It was $1. I don't remember if it was $1 or $2. And you're just like, soon. Like, what are you paying? What are you paying per like sentence? It's like, nice to meet you. Like, hey, like, fucking shit. Can I just put a 20 in? I'm watching the clock. It's retarded. I think I spent $20 and I got out of there. What the fuck is this about? Yeah, stupid. Bible says a fool and his money is soon departed. But when you're young and stupid, and I don't know. I don't even know how I found out about that place with some advertisements. Like, wow, you're young and you're like, well, just see what it's like. We're just doing a journal here. Just in a way it was. You know what I'm saying? No, I never went back. I was like, this is stupid. You know what I'm saying? No, this was stupid. But if you go and do something stupid and you realize it's stupid and you stop doing it, you've learned. 10 minutes in, what a pungently fucking cigar. It's a heavy medium plus. We're at medium full. Funky. A lot stronger. Pungently long. If you want an interesting, unique cigar, get it. I've already liked the Green before and Robusto and Toro. I thought this was going to suck in Gordo. But Macanudo, I can't stress it enough. They don't make any bullshit, really, blends. Overall, it's like it's one of the few brands I could say that, like there's some companies where I don't like a whole line, or I don't like, 3 of the last cigars I had, or overall, I'm like, nah. Macanudo, also, you can have brands that, they're good quality, like Lucion, but they're very formulaic to the brand overall. Like most, if you like Lucion, you probably, they make really a lot of like similar cigars. Especially when most of their cigars are made by Aganorsa, you know what I'm saying? Which is very pointless, though. Or Macanudo being under General, they have tobacco from around the world. Even though obviously this is rolled, I believe, in the Dominican, but they have tobacco from all over the world. I mean, look at this combination. You're getting really interesting Brazilian tobacco, and I think the cigar's a little wet, and I might have to touch that up. And then you get also took me a long time to light it up, and then you got interesting Indonesian through that, Indonesian and Brazilian, and then you throw in Colombian, and then the classic Dominican Puerto Cubano. It's funky. It's kind of sweet and sour, the cigar. But it's not terrible. It's not. What I mean is, it's not like, I wouldn't smoke it. I wouldn't smoke this on a regular basis, but I'm enjoying it. And what I like about it is it's more, and it's probably with that Dominican Puerto Cubano, it's got a good amount of spice to it. It's more lively. Lots of times when you have Brazilian cigars, especially if it's in the filler and they're using a lot of Brazilian filler, it can give the cigar, no matter what the flavor is, you can give it a very, like a fog. How do I explain it? Like a thick fog. Like you're there, but you can't see nothing. You're really like, you're kind of lost. You're like, that's what happens. Like with those BX3s, those Amazon Basins, when you get very swampy Brazilian cigars where you get too much Brazilian tobacco, in my opinion, it's not a vibe I like. If you want that, go ahead. I like my tobacco. I prefer medium plus and higher, medium full strength, whatever. But whatever the blend is, but I like the flavor to move a little more lively. I don't like dark but not strong cigars that have no spice, that aren't lively. And that's like the worst case of everything. Like, if you're going to go dark in a cigar, don't make it really medium strength for the most part. And no spice. Now you're just fucking boring me. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're boring me. You're boring me. You're boring me. You know what I'm saying? You're boring me. You're fucking boring me. You're fucking boring me. You know what I'm saying, though? You're fucking boring me. No, don't fucking bore me. It's enjoyable and sweet. It's funky. To describe everything on this, it's got a lot going on. I'm just not even going to try to pinpoint all that crazy shit. The bottom line is, it's around a medium full, which is surprising for the beginning of a Gordo. Excuse me. My allergies are still. I never really get allergies really, but smelling this foot, don't smell the foot, or smell the foot, but get ready to fucking sneeze. I smelled this foot, man. That was funky, pungent. The whole combination of all it. I think it's a good combination of. I've always liked the green, but I've only had it in Robusto and Toro, and it's been a long time since I even had the green. I tell you what, the Inspirados on the Macanudo side, you get a lot for your money. What's wrong with that? Take the band off. If you're like, oh, it's a nice Macanudo, it's Ferrari, it's long filled with tobacco, it's good blends. What the fuck's wrong with it? I guarantee it's better than a lot of cigars, even new stuff. Oh, it's new boutique and it's $15. It's $16. Save your fucking money. And I'm not saying that because just to save fucking money. What I'm saying is a lot of cigars, it's not worth it. Like, I mean, even if you enjoy it, fine. But like, at a certain, that's all I'm saying, though, man. If you can find something you enjoy, and Macanudo is a whole lineup that's enjoyable. Get them all, and there's like 5 of them. The white, which is still good, Connecticut, spicy Connecticut. The orange, Honduran, fun. On the lighter side. Darker than the Connecticut, but stronger, more funky. You got the green, and then there's a green shade. They have this, but I think it's a Brazilian shade. And then there was another one. It was a white label, but it wasn't a white label. It was something. I forget the fucking name. And that was small batch, a little more money. Enjoyable, but not worth the money. And then there was the black, fucking phenomenal. And then the red, which... it's probably my least favorite of all, but at the same time, I like going back to it because I haven't smoked it as much as because it was my least favorite. So it has room to grow, but it's still would for smoking. But if there's one brand I could say, especially if you're newer to cigars or you don't have much experience, dude, buy that whole lineup, all 5 of them: the black, the green, the red, the orange, white. They need to make yellow, and smoke them all in a row, and because each one's different, and then none of them are like formulaic. None of them they don't do anything basic. Like other brands are like, oh, here's our Connecticut shade, and then here's our sun-grown, and now we've made a Maduro, and you're like, and you smoke them, and you're like, wow, but they're like basic bitch, comfortable cigars that other cigar companies that are not trying to wow the cage, it's all the same shit, same exact formula. And what did you do? Well, we put a more expensive price tag on it, and you're like, Macanudo General has so much fucking tobacco. I can't stress it enough. Whether it's Macanudo, CAO, Punch, they have some really great blends. Really great blends that other companies can't even do it because they don't have access to all the tobacco. And then they give it to you at a reasonable price, and people are like, you piece of shit. Look at you being nice to middle class people. You piece of shit. I don't know why people hate on General. I'm not saying they're the best cigars as far as in the mid-tier category price point, but within the mid-tier category price point, there's so many crazy blends. Look at Partagas. They really don't make a basic bitch cigar either. Partagas Black, it's kind of unique, interesting vibe. The Partagas Legends, fucking phenomenal. Try the Legend, especially in the smaller size. Let that cigar dry out though. The cigar has a very slow burn to it. The Partagas, the green one, the Valley Verde, especially in the smaller size. What a great fucking time. Really interesting lighter Mexican San Andreas. And then forget about all the Cohibas. But get those online. Save the money. They have, in reality, for the most part, each one of General's brands and blends really don't copy each other. So there's so many blends. And each one's unique. None of them was like, well, this is just some basic bitch shit. So, if you want to expand your vocabulary and try different things, and they're enjoyable. And I'm not going to lie to you and go, but it has the best cigar. No, but they're all good, interesting, unique blends. They have really good blenders because they have so much great tobacco. And the only issues I could see really having, if you buy them in a lounge, and you have issues with the lighting it's probably because the cigar's too wet, and because they have General cigars that they've been around forever, and they don't move as fast in lounges because people take them for granted. So if you have a box that's been sitting there for 6 months to a year in a wet lounge, it's probably gonna be really wet. Take it home, take it out of the cellophane, let it go in a dry box for a day or two. Cut the cap, and let it sit for a day or two. I just can't stress that enough. It is what it is. And And I mean, this thing is stuffed. It's stuffed. This thing, I know it's a Gordo, but I mean, there's so much tobacco, even for Gordo. And I'm jipping you on that. Nice coffee note, pungently funky, like sour, kind of little damp notes, but it's not so damp. Lots of times when you go too much Brazilian, it has a real, like, you're in a basement, like your grandma's basement in Long Island, and she didn't put on the air conditioning, and you're sleeping over there, and you're like, oh my God, it's so hot, and it's the air is just water and damp. It's like being, because the Brazilian, a lot of Brazilian stuff, it's a very moist area, Brazilian, and a lot of Brazilian tobacco. They have, like in the CAO, they grow that shit in the swamps. It makes sense. Like the Brazilians are known for waxing their chocha, because when you're in such a hot, swampy area, you should wax the chocha. Oof, you got to keep it fresh. Okay, we're back. Stacking ash there. Falling a little behind the back, but it's still burning. Self-correcting. We're just going to drop that. Cigar, I think, is just a little wet. But operating fine. I just bought it today. I would have liked to, I'll touch up that one side. I would like to let it sit out for a day or two, but it is what it is. For the record, I really don't think the touch-up's probably necessary. I'm just being a little neurotic here. Just a little neurotic. I'm really enjoying it. It's like a gentle medium full. So, really comfortable strength point where it's giving you plenty of strength, plenty of flavor, but it's not a strong cigar, but it's definitely not a weak cigar. And a gentle medium full is like, it's like just above like a heavy medium plus. So that's a nice strength point to be there. You can kind of, it gives you some dynamic, I guess, ways you can use this cigar, you know. Maybe you're not in the mood for something really strong, but you don't want a Connecticut shade. The flavor is kind of long on the tongue, but not super heavy. Maybe about 70 to almost 75% darkness. It's enjoyable. I have nothing bad to say about the cigar. I think the Toro and Robusto I prefer in this blend. Or just in general, anyways. But in this blend, but I'm still enjoying this cigar. It's not like the Gordo in this case ruined it. Not at all. It has some sour funkiness to it, the pungentness to it. It has a little dampness, that kind of vibe, but it's not super Brazilian. Nice coffee note. Not really a lot of earth. There's a little bit, is some nice charred wood, but not a very, very hard, heavy charred wood note. But it is there. It's got some complexity for like a darker type cigar, but not super dark. But hold the smoke too. It's got some nice black pepper, but not really, really heavy black pepper. Nothing's like really super in your face or aggressive. It has a very smooth vibe to it, but it's not a boring or a mild cigar at all. So it's hitting like a sweet spot of like, it's kind of comfortable, this blend. I got nothing bad to say about it. And I'm kind of digging it. And I would probably smoke it again in this size. You're going to get a good amount of time in it. I probably still have another 30 minutes, but I'm not going to do that. 30 minutes here. Overall, if you're looking for something maybe a little different, but and you're tired of like Connecticut broadleafs or Maduros, Nicaraguan Maduros, or darker cigars or Mexican Andres Maduros. Not say tired, but it's something extra to add to your lineup. It's just not a cigar or a blend that I'd want to have like weekly. But it's something to throw into there. Have something a little different. I like the blend. If you say, well, Richie, I don't know, I'm a little more traditionalist. Well, but you want to try some of the Macanudo line, and if you haven't tried all of them, go for the Macanudo Black. That's a really enjoyable cigar. A lot of chocolate notes on that. That's probably the safest bet out of all the lineup. Is the Macanudo Black. Really, but it's still really, has some interesting characteristics, I really enjoyed the Macanudo Black. And I think it's the most, I guess, usable in the blend. This funky shit with the Brazilian, even though Brazilian is probably my least favorite overall in all the wrappers, it's just an enjoyable cigar. And the way they blended this, it didn't go super Brazilian. I can't stress it enough. Wouldn't be super Brazilian. Go smoke a BX3. Smoke an Amazon Basin. If you love really heavy, what I mean heavy, I'm not talking about strong. I mean, but like strong and that Brazilian character. Well, get ready for some Swamp Thing tobacco. And if you like that, some people do. If you want really pungent, kind of weird, bizarre vibes, then that's for you. Nice coffee note as well. The cigar roll has some type of creamy texture to it as well. And this Gordo, enjoyable. Somewhere between a 4.3 and a 4.5. I say somewhere between there. So maybe a 4.35. Somewhere between. You can figure it out. That falls under a good to around very good kind of mark. So it's enjoyable. I mean, not everything's gonna be like, oh my god, this is, even the general lineup, it's gonna be as good as the Legend or the the Purple Cohiba, the San Andreas, what was the name of that, the purple one? Oh man, I can't think of it. Not the Royale. What is it? Riviera. But this is a great cigar as far as it's enjoyable. It's offering something a little different. I would still smoke probably the Macanudo Inspirado Black more, but this is an enjoyable cigar. Nothing bad to say about it. And I think if you want it to be a little stronger, go for it in Toro Robusto. However, it didn't lose, all of its balls going in Gordo. It's got some nice, unique features to it without going super exotic with all the Brazilians. So it's a good blend, especially if you like Brazilian stuff. So for me, who's not crazy about Brazilian, for me to still enjoy this and recommend it, I think it's a pretty good, unique offering. If you had to ask my favorite of the Macanudo Inspirado lineup, I'd really go with the Macanudo Inspirado Black. I think it's one of the best offerings overall, that whole lineup, the Inspirados, for a good value in the mid-tier category. And each one is really different compared to the other. They're all similar as far as price point and really available. I'd recommend getting a 5-pack if it's possible of the different lineups. Really. I would go with the black, the orange, and the green. Try those, try those. And then from there you have the red and the white. And the white's going to be the lightest of it, and the red's probably going to be probably the strongest and heaviest of the bunch, but it's not my favorite. And the black is coming in darker, but the red is kind of and it's listed as the stronger one of that, but I probably need to come back to the Inspirado Red. Maybe try it in the larger size and give that another shot. Definitely tell a lot of flavor. Oof, wow, I gotta get out of here. I just held the smoke on that for a while. And it got kind of punchy. Let's hold it one more time. It kind of went to the nose. That charred wood, you hold that smoke on it, you get a lot more of it. And as we're getting into our last third, I think it's an interesting cigar. It's not going to blow your mind. It's not going to break the bank, but it's an interesting, good cigar. Nothing bad to say about that. For most people, that's what you're looking for. Have a good time. And you can have a good time with the Inspirado line, especially as a fallback. Get a couple of the blacks, the greens, and the oranges, and it's good cigars to have in between, because there's not always like new blends to have, or if you can't afford always high-end stuff, well, it's enjoyable cigars, and you're gonna have a good time. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Not everything, can be Opus X or a Padron 26 night for most people. So we're done here. I'll see you around. Good smoke output. Kind of a funky, a little bit of an odd cigar, but it pulls it off well.